Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. This is Whistlekick Martial Arts Radio, and we're back. Andrew and I, we're back with another fun Q&A episode. We've got some questions that you all throw in. I don't even know what's going on. That's the fun part about these episodes, so stick around. If you're new to what we do, you should go to whistlekick.com. You should check out the store. You should check out the links to all the other things that we've got going, our projects, our products. And if you use the code podcast15, gets you 15% off, whether it's sparring gear or a training program or a shirt, some cool stuff over there. Now, this show gets its own website. Ha! I fooled myself. whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. We bring you 2 episodes each and every week, all under the guise of connecting, educating, and entertaining you, the traditional martial artists of the world. And if that means something to you, you can support us in a number of ways. You could buy something. You could tell people about what we're doing. You could follow us on social media, or you could support our Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. We've got a bunch of cool stuff that happens over on Patreon, exclusives, including free merch. We've seen some people posting pictures of the stickers that came through as like a first round support. Andrew, did you get your sticker?
I did, and I was looking for it, but like, did I?
I saw you looking around. I figured that's what it was.
Oh, it's not in here.
Yeah, and one of the downsides to Patreon is that I'm not part of it, so I don't get the stickers. But people said that not only are they like really well done stickers, but they're really adhesive. And I know that seems trivial, but if our name's going to go on something, like, it's got to be good.
We want it to be good. Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be good. Well, let's Q&A now.
Yeah, let's do it.
We told people how they can help us, and of course, let's say it now at the top of the show. If somebody has a question for the next Q&A, because we keep doing these, email this guy, not this guy, the other guy.
Yeah.
Andrew at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com.
This guy right here.
That guy. That guy with the great shirt.
Yeah, with little ninjas on it.
Ninja shirt.
Okay, so I've got 5 questions today.
Okay.
Some from myself, some sent in from listeners of the show.
Nice.
And so the very first one is going to be one from me.
Okay.
I got my stopwatch ready here.
Yeah. How much time do I have?
5 minutes.
5?
That's it.
Okay. 5 minutes.
Yeah. And the question is, do kata or forms, pumseis, whatever your style calls them,
Totally patterns.
Yep. Do they suffer from a PR problem for people outside of the traditional martial arts community?
A PR problem. Now, if we think about a PR problem, to my mind, that means we're talking about a misunderstanding, a misrepresentation. And that's how you mean it?
Yep.
Okay. So to say that in another way, would people outside of traditional martial arts have a better understanding of the value of forms if they had a better understanding of what they were? Anybody who's been a longtime listener, viewer of this show knows how I feel about forms. I am all in on forms. I think forms are absolutely amazing. I think they are the pinnacle of martial arts training. And I'm not going to unpack what that means because that's too long for my 5 minutes. But I think people outside have, I do agree, they have a poor understanding of what forms are and what they're intended for. Because when I hear people who are not down with forms talk about forms, the adjectives that they use suggest walking through the movements. That the most important part is the memorization of sometimes non-combat effective technique. And if that's how you view forms, if that's how you do forms, yeah, they're useless. But I look at it as, okay, what if I could have one thing that I do that builds my strength, my stability, codifies my technique, builds in some timing, some awareness, some flexibility, right? Like just stacks a whole bunch of things. That's forms. In the context of martial arts, that's forms. And one of the beauties of the fact that the pattern is prearranged is that you don't have to think about it. Here's something outside of martial arts. One of the reasons that CrossFit is so effective, and now F45, Orange Theory, etc., as a physical training discipline is that people don't have to decide what they're doing for a workout. They just show up. They just show up to a class and the coach takes them through it. Forms are kind of similar. I just do the form. Maybe I have to pick which form I'm doing, but I just have to do the form. And the more time I spend with it, the more I can find nuance to individualize it myself. But I can also, as I move past the memorization piece, really work various aspects. And actually, we did an episode on, I think it was like 20 drills you can do with forms. If you take a form and you just focus on stances, or you just focus on speed, or you just focus on power, you can get a tremendous amount out of that.
Yep,
So
I
yes,
agree.
PR problem.
How do we fix that PR problem then?
I don't think we do.
Okay.
Because I think the majority of people who are down on forms want to be down on forms because they don't want to do them, because they want to do the things within their martial arts training that they enjoy, and they are reverse engineering the excuse.
Okay, good. All right, you ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay. This was sent in by Francis Cordone.
Hey, Francis.
And this question is, what do you think of an exchange program martial arts schools could have with neighboring schools on a regular basis?
Ooh. I really like that. I think it's a great idea. I think the question would be, what are the responsibilities of the people who switch, right? When I think of like the exchange program we had in high school, when I think of the kids who came over from Germany, we had one from Argentina and 3 from Germany. The very fact that they just lived and went to school and did sports with us, we picked up bits. They picked up bits from us. It was because it was immersive, it was effective. A martial arts school exchange is probably not going to be 24-hour a day immersive. So I think it would have to have some parameters around it. I could see, for the next 6 months or 3 months, this, maybe not the top instructor, but number 2 or 3 on the totem pole goes over there, and vice versa. And they step in and they train, but then maybe at the end of every class, there's like a 10-minute piece where that person unpacks the context. Hey, you all spent the last 45 minutes going over this thing. Here's how we do that in our school. And I think in order for it to be valuable, it would have to be more than just the physical piece. I think it would have to also be discussion. I think there has to be conversation to really pull the full value. But I really like the idea.
Yeah, I think something that hasn't been brought up on this show in a while, but was when I first got on board, was open, clear communication.
Yeah. Right? Well, that's your buzzword. Your buzz phrase.
That's my phrase. So as long as there's super open communication about what's expected, I think it could be a really, really good thing and very useful and valuable. As long as because what's the biggest fear? Like, why would people not want to do this? In my opinion, the fear would be, well, if I'm one of the instructors, my students might go over there and like that school better. Like, that would be the fear. So as long as there's open communication about, this is not what it's about. It's not about quote unquote stealing students. It's about learning and education,
Right. If the only thing keeping your students from going to another school is their knowledge of the other school, then you've failed them already.
Yep. And I have pre-COVID, I had been talking with my instructor about doing something kind of similar, which was setting up a once a month training at our dojo and having a different instructor every month come in and teach something.
I love that.
And all of their only brown and for karate terms, brown and black belts, only their upper rank students would be allowed to come. Mm-hmm. And that would be one of the reasons of that, helping to ensure that we're not there looking to steal students. Right. If your brown and black belts are going to stay with your school regardless, Anyway, that was a good one.
I like it.
All right. So this next one is from Paul Wilson from the Karate Cafe.
Hey, what's podcast. Up, Paul? That was a great episode.
That was, yeah. Here's his question. On a few episodes, I've heard you, Jeremy, refer to martial arts as, quote, our industry when talking with other martial arts instructors. Do you see the martial arts as an industry in the sense of it's a business since you make your living that way, or do you see it in the other dictionary definition of hard work, and why?
Mm. At risk of not answering the question, the reason I've fallen into using the term industry is because I haven't found a better one. The word that actually I think works best, but it doesn't roll off the tongue well for me, is realm. In the realm of martial arts, because yeah, our industry includes a lot of people who are doing a lot of things, and there's no money involved. And when we think of industry in that way, and that really is the closer definition of what I'm meaning, rather than the hard work industry, industrious, industrial definition. It, because it's a word more of us use, it sounds better to me, but I don't like it. And honestly, every time I use it, I don't like it. It hits my ear wrong, but it's one of those things. It's very similar to when people use the word kata as a generic term for forms. I don't like that. And I don't do it because I found the word form, and I think form is equally applicable. But I haven't found a better word for industry than realm. But if I say realm, Andrew, where's the first place your mind goes?
Fantasy.
Yeah. You go to some kind of D&D fantasy-esque place that I think some may perceive as disrespectful, at the very least detached from where we are. And I don't want to go there. And I've actually spent like time thinking through this. Realm, hobby, lifestyle, right? Like there's no great word. Why? Because of our why. Because our whys are so different.
Well, and because for some people it is a hobby, and for some people it is a lifestyle. But
and for others it's a job.
You can't use that word interchangeably, though.
Right. And so I'm going to continue to use industry until I come up with a better word, or somebody gives me a better word.
Gotcha. And maybe Paul will.
Maybe Paul has a suggestion. And anybody that's got a suggestion, help me out.
Excellent. All right. This next question I'm going to say it was coming from me, but it was really on a forum. It was being discussed by a lot of different people, so I don't remember who really brought it forward. But what are your thoughts on the standardization of the Kiai? Should it be the same throughout a particular dojo?
No. Absolutely not.
And then what are your thoughts on the Kiai? Or key up, or however you say it in your style.
Spirit, yell, shout. Different people at different levels of training in different schools have different understandings of what that action is. I find it to be an immensely personal, powerful expression of energy that I use at that level solely in the context of forms. Because I cannot gather myself and express it fully in a sparring match with a mouth guard. Like, not going to happen. Okay. The reason it should not be standardized is because we cannot standardize the gathering of the energy, the preparation, and what to me feels like an emotional expression. So what would we end up standardizing? The tone. And that's silly. Because the tone that's going to come out of my mouth with a well-projected, I grew up in karate, so the term Kiai resonates most for me, ki up second from my Taekwondo time, but a well-placed expression of that sound, Andrew, your sound is going to be completely different. It should be, because our speaking voices are different. Our diaphragms, the resonance chamber that this comes from, is different. And if we try to standardize on them, it becomes a race to the bottom. And there are schools for whom the why is very different. It's about expelling air in an audible sense. Hey, 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 right? Some of you may attend a school like that. It's not a judgment.
Mm-hmm.
This is yet another place where I am style agnostic and libertarian free market as it comes through. If it works for you, it works for you. I love a well-timed, well-performed, expressed, I think is the verb I like most, Kiai in my forms, because I'm going to own that room. I don't care how big that room is. I'm going to own that room. That is my goal every time. I make sure that no matter what else is going on, everybody in that space is going to turn and look at me. That's the goal for me when I do that.
Yep. I think it's definitely individualized. I think it would be hard to hard I don't want to say hard to enforce. I mean, if you're the instructor and you want everyone to Kiai this way, I mean, you could do it, but it's just such a difficult thing to do.
Yep. Standardization sounds like a good thing within a school, just like you might want to standardize a form or the way a technique is done.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what the standardization would become. Instead, it would be standardizing. The equivalent would be the length of time the form takes, or the amount of ground covered, which varies based on leg length, or the amount of power generated out of a certain technique, which varies based on a whole bunch of things. Because we're not going to be able to measure emotional energy, we're going to end up measuring volume and tone. And I think that completely misses the point.
Yeah. Slight follow up. Do you find, in thinking of this question this week, I've been thinking of my own Kiai myself. Do you find you Kiai differently if you're doing basics than if you're doing forms?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I do too.
There are a lot of schools that I've trained in that want a Kiai at the end of every 10, Hachikuju, right? I don't have the stamina for a full-blown Kiai every 10. When I perform in a competition or something, those 2 or 3 Kiais are just as exhausting for me as the rest of the form.
Yep.
And I need 30 to 45 minutes to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm going to Kiai like that, I'm done in the first 5 minutes of class.
Yeah.
You got to tone it down. Just like I'm not throwing my techniques full power every single time. I can't. Stamina.
Okay. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
This question comes to us from our very good friend of the show, Leslie.
What's up, Leslie?
And her question is, movies like Kung Pao, Beverly Hills Ninja, spoof movies, super fun. Are they hurting martial arts reputation?
They're not helping it. So the question is it having an impact? Because if it is having an impact, it's a negative impact. And is that impact substantial enough to warrant not having them? I don't think too many people are watching Kung Pao or Beverly Hills Ninja and saying, I want to go train. But we know that legitimate martial arts movies are received at times poorly. And here's the best example. What is the single most sarcastic response anyone ever has when they find out that you do martial arts of any kind?
My guess go-to would be from Karate Kid 3. That's my guess. Oh, you do martial arts? Whoa. That's what I go to.
What I've experienced most is Karate Kid 1. It's people pull up in a crane kick.
Oh, yeah, okay, same, yeah, same sort of thing.
So there's a movie that as a industry realm we love. It has been transformational. It led into Cobra Kai. I mean, come on, like there's a lot of substance there, and people still pick out this certain part or parts that maybe are less legitimate, less professional, less substantive. You can't stop that. If somebody wants to make fun of something, they're going to make fun of something. So I think I've actually talked myself in a circle And while to the rest of the world, movies like Kung Pao and Beverly Hills Ninja may not be helpful to those outside the martial arts, I think maybe they are beneficial to us inside because it helps us poke fun at ourselves in a more positive way, because we're pretty good at tearing each other down. Here's an opportunity for us to not do that. And you've got movies that kind of ride the line, like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. Yep. It's a great example. I think most of the time, I'll say non-educated, I don't mean non-educated,
Training?
trained individuals see movies like Beverly Hills Ninja and realize that this is clearly not meant to be a martial arts movie.
It's satire.
Yeah, and I think that most of those types of movies do a pretty good job of setting that up. And so I don't know that it really hurts us a whole lot.
I would agree. I think it's probably, I have moments where I get really protective of the martial arts world, and I'll put a little bit too much energy into pushing back on someone who's doing something that I think portrays us in a poor light. But most of the time, I think the negative things are really just silly. And as long as it's clearly silly, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's having fun.
Yep. Excellent.
Right? We have fun in class sometimes. Sometimes the fun supersedes the training, and that's okay.
Excellent. That's it.
Nice. That's it. Wow. Got through those pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting more efficient. Well, thank you. And thank you to all of you who wrote in questions. And again, throw some questions in for the next one. Andrew at whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. Don't send them to me. I'm not allowed to see them beforehand. This is on the fly. It helps make me better. I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to just kind of roll with the questions as they come up. If you want to check out the other episodes we've done like this, go to whistlekickmartialartsradio.com or check your podcast feed. They're all in there. Every episode we've ever done is available for free because that's what we do. And if you head on over to whistlekickmartialartsradio.com, you can check out transcripts and links and photos and all that good stuff. You can sign up for the newsletter. We do newsletters once a week based on different things. And you know what? People like them. People open them. I work in the marketing world. I don't know if everybody knows that. So I know whether or not people like our stuff, and people like our stuff. If you do like our stuff, you should consider buying something or telling people about us. Help us grow, help spread the show and our mission here at Whistlekick. And of course, if you want more deeper, exclusive, behind the scenes, all that good stuff, Patreon, patreon.com/whistlekick. And you can jump in for as little as $2 a month, and it goes up for there. Okay. I want to thank you all for watching or listening. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at Whistlekick. My email, jeremy@whistlekick.com. Until next time, train hard, smile, and have a great day.